Hi, my name is Deb Johnston, and welcome to Women Reinventing MidLife TV, where we aim to inspire you, the woman over 50, to thrive in a meaningful life that you deeply desire and deserve. Here you're going to find real-life stories from women over 50 to inspire you to reinvent any aspect of your life, together with tips and content around mindset, wellness, and style to guide you to build confidence and vitality in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and beyond. And today, I have a really inspirational story to share with you because I'm joined by Philippa Taylor. So Philippa is a mum. She's a servant to 2 cats who may even join us on the interview. She's a digital wellness marketer and beauty partner and sports fan, PR consultant, traveler, TEFL teacher, and loves seagreen. I want to know more about that. Now, she says that just about sums her up, but I've known Philippa a while, and I know there's a lot more to her than that. So today, she's going to share how her own transition started at age 55 in the midst of menopause and why she chose the direction that she's on now. Philippa, welcome. I'm so glad you're able to join us.
Oh, thank you so much, Deb, for inviting me. And it's just a pleasure to be here. And I love what you're doing with these talks. It's so inspiring to hear other people's stories because they may be completely different to your own, but you go, yeah, I can resonate with that. That works for me. Yeah, okay, I'll have a think about that. So yeah, no, but thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here.
I'm so glad that we've been able to organize this because we've had a couple of reschedules. So we've finally managed to come together. And I'm so glad that we have, because I think I first met you about 2 years ago, didn't I? Was it 2 years ago? 2.5?
Yeah, I think so. I think we were in the middle of the pandemic. I think, that whole online networking where we were all able to, meet people that we would never meet in our everyday lives was probably the only silver lining that came out of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's just spreading things all over my desk.
What's Mum up to?
No, you talked so early.
So and that's true, and you're in the UK and I'm in Australia, so that was the one of the beautiful parts of COVID, wasn't it, that it actually connected so many people around different parts of the world. So your transition, and I know that you've actually shared this personally with me before, how you moved into what you're doing now for work. And it's interesting to see that it happened around the age of 55 when you're in the midst of menopause. And I love that because this is what it's meant to do. Like, it's meant to help us transition. It's there to help us to evolve. So tell us a little bit about your story, Philippa.
Oh, thank you. And yeah, and the Chinese do call it your second spring, but for me, I think it was my third or fourth change. And so I was no stranger to pivoting. When I left university back in the 80s, I went into public relations and I loved it. I loved the problem solving. I loved the connecting, companies to charities or events or sponsorship, even the media. And that really, really sang to me for many, many years. I did a lot of work in London consultancies. I worked in-house. I freelanced. I white labeled for other companies. I even had my own company. But, you get to that point and you think, is this all there is? Am I really excited about doing that? And I'd speared off during that sort of 36-year period. And I'd done some career counselling. I taught business English as a foreign language. I've been travelling a couple of times for big 6-month chunks. And I just loved the whole sort of ability to take what I enjoyed doing, which was communicating, connecting, problem solving, and trying out different things. But I always came back to PR because it was enough of a range of activities that I could actually enjoy doing. But that menopause came up and bit me in the proverbial, and I was like, who am I? You know, I don't feel like me anymore. My brain's not operating in the same way. My body's certainly doing some really weird things. And I'd always done a lot of competitive sport, water sports. I'd rowed, I'd dragon boated, I'd done outrigger canoeing, and I just lost my mojo to do anything. And when something's been such a huge part of your life, and then you don't do it anymore, you just think, oh, well, that's not fulfilling my need to be in a community, a team, you know, and to compete, to, you know, to push myself. And I just thought, oh, I don't really want to do anything. I don't know what I want to do, you know. At 55, you know, you've been around the planet enough times to know what you like and also what you don't like. And if you don't have a burning passion, you know, I didn't think, I am so going to go and be a yoga guru. Oh, no, today I'm going to be an author. You know, there was nothing that made me go, wow, let me go and train and do this. I just felt stuck. I mean, I don't know if any of your other ladies, you know, you just, what, yeah, is this it?
So common at this phase of life. There's just like, it's like a blank. You just don't know what the next step is, and a lot of the times it becomes easy to just stay where you are, or, you know, if you've left the workforce, go back into what you were doing before. You know what I mean? It's so easy to do that, but we've changed when we get to this stage of life, haven't we?
Gosh, yes. You know, and there is that perspective that you have on life. You know, and I think that was what was bringing me to the point of thinking, you know, particularly my PR work, you know, and a little, you know, a young marketing manager was telling me they wanted their product on the front page of the newspaper. And, you know, my head thinking, well, not unless you kill someone, it's not going to happen, because it's something you can find in a supermarket, you know, it's get real. And then you're having that conversation to go, well, you're almost coaching them. And you think, this isn't what I got in for. You know, I love coaching people in terms of giving advice and sharing information, but I don't want to be a coach. You know, and you become to realize it's the people that are more important, not the companies. And I think that's what really triggered me to think PR is lovely, great. You know, I've done it for over 3.5 decades. I wouldn't have kept going if I didn't like it. But it's connecting companies to people, and I want to connect people to people and make a difference. And I know that sounds a bit worthy, but it is like, you know, there is only a finite amount of time we're here, you know, and touch wood, it'll be a long time. But I want to make, you know, I want at the end to look back and go, do you know what? I really helped.
Yeah. It's a good feeling, isn't it? And I know that so many of us, when we get to this stage of life, it comes up a lot. I want to make a difference somewhere, somehow. I want to make a difference. And I think it's probably maybe not for everyone. I think, though, it is part of that aging process of wanting to make your mark, you know, wanting to make a difference somehow. Yeah.
And it's, you know, I volunteer, I do pro bono work, and it's great. You know, that does fulfill that part of me. But I just, you just think I want to change. And they do call the menopause the change. And it's not just your body change, but it's your mind, your emotional awareness, your spiritual awareness. You know, you begin to see what's important in life. And you need, you know, you value what you have more perhaps than you value what you don't have, you know, which I think at the beginning of your life, it's like, oh, I need a bigger house, I need this clothes, I need that. And now you're like, do you know what? I'm really happy with what I have. And you know, I'm not going to be an Olympian, and I'm not going to own half of London. And I'm happy with that. You know, whatever it is that you're doing, you know, when you were younger, you thought, oh, yeah, I'm going to be like this. And it's like, no, I'm happy with what I've got. And I want to give back.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, I understand that, losing that need for material stuff. It's kind of even that ambition of, I want to have a multi-million-dollar company, even that kind of just withers a little bit at this age. It's more of, I want to give back. I want to do something worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting that I found that, excuse me, when I do my, my gratitude practice, and I'm talking about how I'm helping others, and yes, that will have an impact on my life. I'm not a charity, but I'm doing it from the heart that I want to make a difference. And it took me a while to realize that was actually my motivation. I mean, my son's my main motivation, but having a bigger, wider, that's my micro, but my macro is bigger, and helping midlife women.
Yeah.
And I came up with this, I don't know what you call it, an acronym of charm, of things that were important to me to do daily. I mean, we've talked before about taking small steps that are effective, proven, and simple, because we don't have enough life or headspace or bandwidth, whatever you want to call it, to do anything huge. And community is the first thing in my charm. It's community, hydration, activation, relaxation, movement. And I know if I do those 5 things in a day, I can go to bed thinking, yeah, I've done the best for me, and I've done the best moving outside as well.
I love that. I love that. And did you, when you developed the acronym and started living by that, was that after you'd made your career transition?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Because it made me think more about what I wanted, not about chasing a business anymore. And that's probably the biggest transition. It's like, what do I want out of life? What do I want more of? What do I want less of? What's important to me, and what makes me feel good?
Yeah, exactly. That was a big one for me, is how do I want to feel every day? Yeah, it was a big one for me. That was a big question, because it's like, I don't want to spend the days feeling worn out. I don't want to be bored. I don't, what is it that I want instead? How do I want to feel every day? I thought, I want to feel excited. I want to feel lit up, Yeah, I get it. So what did you do? How did you transition, and where did you go?
That's a really interesting question, because it wasn't something that I sought. Somebody talked to me about something, and with my PR hat on, I think my curiosity is like up here, but so is my BS radar. I am so skeptical. He's like, oh, so it's the best thing since sliced bread, is it? Okay, let me just go look at that then. I'll come back to you. Again, that's a bit being older. You're like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
This lady just started talking about healthy aging, and I said, okay, you've got my attention. I'm 55. I'm in that menopause, stage. If half of what you're saying is true, give me a truckload. But I am just going to go and check it out. And it was at a networking meeting, so there wasn't time for, back in the day when you could actually see people in a room, that was normal.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's 30 of us in a room, and we're all breathing the same air. My goodness. Literally, it was just somebody talked about a different way to help support well-being, and I thought, yeah, I'll have some of that. And long story short, did my due diligence, checked out all the evidence, lifted up all the rocks and made sure there was nothing icky underneath it. And then I decided to take it, because I thought, what have I got to lose? It's something natural. And I took it, and I just felt more like me. And for somebody that's made a career in words, to say something that woolly is a bit silly. I just felt better. I felt I had my mojo back.
And this is in menopause.
And this is in menopause. Yeah. I was waking up going, yeah, it's another day. And my husband was like, who are you? You're not demanding coffee and hiding under the duvet. You're chatting. And I'm like, yeah, I like that.
That's awesome. So it was a health product.
Yeah, it's a different approach to looking after your body. It's based on the principle of activation. So rather than adding stuff, that you might be deficient in, like vitamin D, particularly here in the UK without any sunshine most of the time, you're not adding, you're helping your body to do what it used to do when you were younger.
Right, got it.
And it's the only way you can get your body to do this. And that's what appealed to me as a PR. I'm like, I didn't even know I made my own antioxidants, let alone that it switched off in my 20s. And then I didn't even know you could turn it back on again. It was like, that was all quite new to me, which as a well-being and lifestyle PR, I thought, well, if I don't know about it, and that's my job to know about it, I can help other people feel fabulous if I just tell them that it's there. And that was where the kernel of the idea of this is a business and it will help people and it will make a difference. And that sort of gave me a vehicle to help other people.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because you'd already started asking yourself the questions. What do I want to do next? How do I want to feel? What kind of activities do I want to be doing? You'd already started asking yourself those questions. So your subconscious was already scanning, and this came into your experience. That's incredible.
And what was really strange, it was a networking meeting that I'd never been to before, in a location I'd never even thought of going. And I just saw it on Facebook, I think it was. And I just went out of the blue. So I think I was meant to go.
Isn't that amazing?
I know.
Amazing.
Like,
and obviously it made such a difference for you that you decided to go into the business.
Yeah. And because I thought, apart from being 55, there was nothing, touch wood, that I had a condition that I wanted to change. I just wanted to be able to get up, do what I wanted to do, go back to sport, which I have done since, and just, be with my son. I've got a teenage son, and just have that energy to keep up with him and run around and have a job and a family and a life and a home, that I just wanted to be able to do that without falling asleep on the sofa at night. Let's be real, it happens. My friends say, oh my God, I didn't make it past 8 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, let me tell you about something.
That's so funny. Oh, that's so funny. So yeah, okay, so it obviously had such a powerful effect that you decided to go into the business. I love what you said about your curiosity is here and your BS radar is here, because I'm exactly the same. I will look and I'll go, oh, that looks really good. And then go, yeah. We hear that there's these products are always better than everybody else's and blah, blah, blah. And the same with services as well. So I always get on Google and I start researching. Yeah.
Yeah, it is, because, being in PR, we might have a tendency to put the best spin on things. Yeah. So, when I read it and I'm like, oh, not so much, just not so much. And then I looked at this and it's like, when they said unique, they did mean unique. And when they said universal, they meant universal. Man, woman, dog, horse, cow, it works. And that natural uniqueness, evidence-based, that's what made me get over my skepticism, because you can't ignore fact.
Yeah, and I love what you pointed out there as well, that it actually activates your body to do what it's meant to do, rather than adding something, which is a much more empowering way of doing it. Much more empowering for our body anyway. It's
and my thought process was help with the physical challenges of being midlife. Give yourself that ability to get more out of life, and more can be more sitting in the garden, more can be traveling the world. We all want different things out of life.
Yeah.
But you ache, or you've got no sleep or no energy or whatever you've got going on, that's a barrier for you reaching your potential. And I thought, wow, but what a difference that can make.
Yeah. Well, yeah, absolutely. And you know what, in this phase of life, we need to be living to our potential. We need to be. It's not a time to gradually wind down. It's a time for us to live our potential, because we have the ability to be healthy right up until the day we die. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe it. And it's my intention I don't just accept something if, something's not feeling good in my body. We were talking about it before we jumped on to record this, weren't we? I don't just accept it. I know that there has to be a way to change it. And if what I'm doing isn't working, I look somewhere else.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. I talk about, let's match your health span to your lifespan. I think back to my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and towards the end of all their lives, they were unwell. And that's really sad.
Yeah.
I want to do what I can. Stuff happens, don't get me wrong, but I want to know that I've done what I can. I've controlled the controllables. That's the big thing for me. You just make sure you do what you can. Like you were saying, have a healthy diet, supplement what you need to supplement, move a lot, just do the things that you can do. And then, you can get on with the rest of life.
Yeah, absolutely. And this sounds amazing. If it increases energy, lets you stay awake on the couch instead of nodding off at 8 o'clock at night. That sounds amazing. And of course, it's going to, if it activates what your body does naturally, of course it's going to do that. Of course it's going to do that, give you more energy.
And when you think about, it helps your cells bounce around more because they're not being damaged by oxidative stress, and your cells make up your organs, which makes up your system, which makes up your body. So if they're all it's just the logic, and I am very logical. It is like, if there's a break in that chain, then I'm going to find it, and there isn't. And I love it. 6.5 years on,
wow, I'm
still happy. I mean, I did the World Outrigger Canoe Championships in the summer. I'm 61.
Wow.
We were competing in the 50s category because there weren't enough of us 60-year-olds, so we were mixed about. But the fun I had to go back and be in a team and compete, and that energy of being out on the water is like, oh my goodness. That for me was priceless, to feel I could do it.
That's amazing. That is so amazing, and it is possible. I've heard of people in their 60s and 70s doing marathons, and it is possible to do this. It's really, a lot of it, it's our mindset as well. That mindset that says, oh no, it's too late. I'm too old, or I don't have enough energy, or I'm not strong enough, or it's really a mindset thing, because all that can be changed.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think back to when my son was at primary school, sort of 5 to 10, there were some mums that the highlight of their day was just going to the supermarket, and there were others who were running really high-powered jobs and doing lots of sport. And it seemed to be the ones that were doing more had more energy.
Isn't that amazing?
They weren't sliding down. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're only in your 40s. You've got a lot of life to live.
Yeah.
Carpe diem, seize that day. But it is that knowing what you want, and that's a really big question that I don't think many of us sit down and talk to ourselves about.
We don't. We don't, because we generally, most of us don't know where to start. What do we want, and we get a blank. So if we're getting a blank, then it's easy to just put it down, walk away, and just forget about it. But the thing is, when you ask a question, things start happening. But and it's important to stay aware, just like you did at that networking event. It's like, what do I want? Why do I want it? How do I want to feel? And once we start asking these sort of questions, then the things do come into awareness. And quite often when women come to work with me in a group program, they're either in 2 different places. They've either got no idea, right? No idea what they want to do, or they've got so many options and they don't know which to choose. And and then there's more. Yeah, that's right. And then they're confused. They don't know which to choose, and they choose none because they're scared they're going to make a mistake. So, and then so there's more exploration in that as well. It's about really getting to know yourself. Like you said, you enjoyed doing these things, but you didn't want to do it, and you knew that because you knew yourself. So it's really important to get to know ourselves properly, so we know what's important to us, we know what we value, we know what's going to light us up, and then we're in a better position to make a choice. Because you're doing the wellness business and you're still doing some PR work as well, aren't you?
Yeah, because I love it.
And because you love it. And this is another thing, we get stuck in this all or nothing. Well, I've either got to do that or I've got to do that. And that's not true.
We're women, we are used to doing multiple things. Do you know what I mean? It's like, why would you turn a bit of your brain off just to have a label stuck on your forehead? It's like, go do other things, try it. For me, it's a win or a learning. The failing isn't come into it. If you try it and it doesn't rock your boat, or you don't like it, you just don't do it anymore, and you've learned you don't want to do any more of that. And if you love it, happy days.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. And that there's so many of us that enjoy variety, and we want to do a few different things. I coach, but I'm also a yoga teacher, so I like doing lots of different things like you do. So I think it's important to acknowledge that. It's about giving things a go, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if it's legal and moral and ethical, what's stopping you? What is stopping you? And I think that comes back also to the point of, like, New Year's resolutions fail normally because it's about a goal that isn't based on a feeling. I want to lose 10 pounds, not I want to be able to run around and enjoy wearing what I like when I like. That's about the feeling. If you think about the feelings, and then you're going to go, oh yeah, okay, I remember that feeling when I had it before, I want that again. And then you take action, because your thoughts, well, for me, what I've come to appreciate is your thoughts dictate your actions, not your actions your thoughts.
And
that was a big learning. It's like, no, just keeping busy and doing and doing and doing is not getting you anywhere. You're just spinning and spinning and spinning,
and getting further away from clarity. Further away.
I'm really busy. Yeah, that's not happening, is it?
Yeah, it's so true. Well, I'm so glad that you've had the transition that you've had, because you're definitely making a difference. I know you're making a difference. And the products that you're in business with, that are part of your business, sound amazing. So if there's any ladies, or there's going to be lots of ladies watching, but any ladies watching that are interested, where do they get in touch with you, Philippa? How can they connect with you?
Thank you. I hang out on Facebook and LinkedIn. I have a Linktree, Philippa Taylor, that you can find on both those platforms. I love to connect with people, not because I want to sell them anything. It's more, I want to know who they are, what they can do, because when you connect people, it's brilliant. Like, I can help with physical well-being, you can help with coaching or yoga. They're not my tracks. So, but if I know what you do, I can point people in Australia to you. You know what I mean? So so find me on social media. I'm normally wearing sea green, the colour of my door.
That's the colour. So sea green, the colour. Now I get it. I love it.
90% of my belongings are that colour. So but I thought today I'm going to wear a blue shirt, not a green one. So you can find me on social media, and then always happy to chat, answer questions, share information and share.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And you can actually access the link to connect with Philippa in the description notes underneath this video. So there'll be a live link. I'll make sure I put it in there, a live link. And all you got to do is click on that and you'll be able to connect with Philippa.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for everything you've shared. This has been a really inspirational story with a lot of different insights that I know is going to make a difference for a lot of the women watching. And before we finish, though, I've got one last question to ask you. And just imagine that there's a beautiful lady watching right now, and she maybe is wanting to reinvent, and she's kind of on the verge of a transition herself, and she's hesitating or holding herself back. What is your best advice for her? What would you like to let her know?
Ooh, I would say spend some time with yourself and write down the things that you love to do, the things that you don't like to do. Just do a bit of a brain dump. Just write words. Don't worry about, carefully crafted journaling, or, it's not an essay. No one's going to see it. Just go through that process of asking yourself questions. Do I like doing this bit of my life? What am I good at? I mean, I'm really good. I'm an estate agent. I love the people. I love exploring and researching. I don't like this bit, that bit. Work out what it is you like, and then write yourself a letter as if you were 5 years in the future, and your life is full of all the things that you wrote down that you liked and none of the stuff that you don't. Let's leave housework out of it, but all the life things. And then think, oh my goodness, yes, because as you're writing, your brain is connecting and telling you different things, and you're like, well, where did that come from? And then that will lead you, and you'll think, actually, I don't need to give up everything. It's not a black and white decision. I can be an X and a Y and do more of Z. But writing it down is a really powerful way of actually getting some clarity. I do it quite often, at least once a year. And I think, oh, okay, that I've actually done, that I've forgotten about. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. And it's really useful just to give yourself a path that your head has created for you, not anybody else. It's what you want, not what someone else wants for you.
I love that. I love that. And I agree with you. When you start to write things down, it's really powerful, because as you're writing, more ideas come into your mind as you're writing. It's a really, really powerful practice. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
It's really helpful. Oh, my pleasure. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but yeah, just be true to yourself, be authentic. We're all different, there are commonalities, but we've all had different life experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Philippa, thank you. That's amazing advice. And I love all the valuable things that you've shared today. There's so much that can be incredibly helpful for the ladies watching. So thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. It's been a joy.
And thank you everyone for joining us. I trust that you've gained some incredible insights from this interview. Now, remember that if you enjoyed the video, to give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And if you'd like to see more videos like this one, remember to subscribe to my channel in the red button underneath, and click the bell for notifications so that you don't miss out. Thank you for your time, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Lots of love. Bye-bye.